What's going on, everyone? This is Matt with Dynamic Mobile Detailing and Audio, and today I wanted to talk about this Prinsu rack. I wanted a solid rack to do whatever I wanted. This is gonna be a raw, uncut, just get to the point video. So researched Prinsu came up multiple times. I went ahead and saw that there was a sale. So for those of you who don't know, they retail for about $950, $980. They were on sale for I think $160. Did a bunch of research that seemed to be the one to go with. Ordered it. Day of installation came and pulled everything out of the box and noticed there was no instructions whatsoever. Now, mind you, this isn't a Amazon special $100 or an AliExpress, $300 rack. This is a $800. It might as well be $1,000 with inflation, and with no sales price. $1,000 rack. There was no instructions whatsoever. Luckily, me being an installer, I knew what I had to get to. I knew that the inside roof liner had to come out. I knew that I had to get to bolts. So it took me probably 3 hours of frustration going through the car, figuring out what needed to come apart to get the factory roof rack off. Now, during my research, I came across one of Prinsu's own YouTube videos. The only problem was it didn't show the disassembly of the previous rack. It showed the assembly of the new rack. That's fine, but for anyone that has never taken something apart, they're going to be overwhelmed, they're going to be frustrated, they're not going to know what to do. And they might not even have the tools, or they might end up breaking something. So that right there was kind of strike one. So mind you, it's probably 11 o'clock our time with Mountain Time. They were finally open. I gave Prinsu a call. I said, hey, I have the car pulled apart. I'm trying to put this together. I'm trying to find the instructions. I've been to your website. I've been to the installation instructions. I can't find it. Can you send me the instructions? And the response was both frustrating and confusing. They said, and I quote, mind you, this rack's been out probably over a year now. This is a 2014 Subaru Outback. This isn't a 2020, 2021. This is a 2013 Subaru. They said, and I quote, we are still working on the instructions for this car, so they're not complete. You sold a rack to me and probably multiple other people without instructions. That was kind of frustrating. I was a little overwhelmed to hear that. I just don't understand it. So I continued on with the installation. Now, mind you, half the rack was probably installed by the time I got them on the phone, and I was referring back to this YouTube video, and I noticed I was missing 2 parts. Hold on. These stiffening brackets were not in my kit. They weren't. So Prinsu apologized and they said, we will ground ship you these. So they said it shouldn't affect the drivability of the car whatsoever. So these are stiffening for the front deflector and the aluminum cross brace, and it goes to the previous cross brace. So they stiffen each other up because there's no bolts up front for the remaining end of the rack. Here's my problem with this, and I'm kind of jumping back and forth here. First off, you had a checklist. That was the only piece of paper in the entire box with everything that was included. And it was checked off that these were in there. They weren't. 2, the video shows 2 of these, one for each side. It doesn't say how far in they should go. It doesn't say anything like that. And 3, you shipped 4 of these. So I went ahead and only did 2. I don't know if you're supposed to do 4, but it's rock hard now. It's not going anywhere. I don't feel like I should cover up more of my sunroof. It won't interfere with the ability to open the sunroof even if I installed these, but I think 2 towards the end are fine. I don't think you need 4. The final thing is there's 7 bolts on each side of the car. 7. The new roof rack uses 5 of those. You have to cover up with silicone or whatever you want to do. You have to seal up 2 of them. Why? Why couldn't you just use those final brackets, even if you had to do some more custom work? I would have happily paid, an extra $40, $50 if you had told me, hey, if you don't pay this extra cost for these extra supports, you're going to have to fill holes. I would rather have something there than just have empty spaces. I'm going to show you that here towards the end of the video. So, their video shows that they use silicone. I went ahead and I got it. Can we focus? I don't know if we can't focus. Black super weather strip adhesive. And I did 4 layers on each hole to cover it up. To me, that's better than silicone. And my last point is I now have channels where the factory one covered up these channels. Why can't you include some type of stripping to make that black? I'll show that as well. Actually, I'll show it now. So we have a channel that you can actually see. One of the holes right here is sealed up. I still have to do some clay bar to get the rest of that off. And this channel, so this is black, 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 and then it just goes to a bare painted channel. Why can't we do some type of weather stripping here in each spot? The second hole is right there. If you can see it. That's towards the back a little bit. Focus. All right. That's just my annoyance. These are the cross braces, by the way. They don't interfere with as much as you think they do with your sunroof, but they are there. So, the final thing you will absolutely 100% need is this. $10mm ratcheting wrench. Ratcheting. I say ratcheting because I'm going to explain this as well. I might even make it in this video. When you drop the roof liner, you have airbags You have side curtain airbags on both sides all the way down. You really don't want to remove those. I have done audio for almost 20 years. I still don't feel comfortable removing any airbag, period. I would rather just leave it. The bolts for the factory roof rack are right above there, and you have about that much space, probably about a ½ inch of space to get to those bolts. That ratcheting wrench, if I didn't have that ratcheting wrench, I'm pretty sure I would have given up out of frustration. You need to do all 7 on each side. That's 14 bolts with a 10mm, and you will bust knuckles. Now, funny enough, they included a pair of gloves, but they never even ask me what size I was. I'm a large. They sent a medium. Completely useless to me. I would use some really thin gloves if you have them to protect your knuckles, because they are going to be beat by the time you are done taking those bolts off. Wind noise. This is probably going to be my last downfall. Well, no, I got 2 more downfalls. First is the noise. Make sure you do your weather stripping on the front wind deflector. Without that, it's quite noisy. But even with that weather stripping installed, you're increasing your noise. By shutting your sunroof shade, it does help a lot, but it's still there. It's noticeable. So if that's not something you can live with, don't get this rack. If you think you're going to take this off when you're done with this car, you're not. You're not. The bolts, the nuts that they use to go into the factory holes, they crush and crimple from the inside, and they recommend using silicone for each one of these, and it sucks up and it splinters outwards and it bites into the underside. Mind you, again, you have airbags. You're not going to get in there and cut those off. It's way too much work for this. This is a permanent install. This is not coming off. My last and final pet peeve is the bolts, the bolt quality. Why aren't these bolts stainless steel? Why? I guarantee you the salt, we've had one salting on our roads. They're already biting into the black coating on these bolts. That's not something I want. I don't think they're going to rust, but they are going to oxidize. And I don't know if they're aluminum, but I feel this was rushed out the door and nothing was finished, is how I feel. And down to the packaging and the shipping. I feel everything was rushed from purchasing it to installing it. There was no forethought put into instructions. There was no forethought put into quality control. That being said, I have to say, I still love this rack. It's aggressive. It's so much better than the factory one in every way. It doesn't flex when you put something on top of it. It is solid. It is one with the car. It's not going anywhere. It's not moving. I plan to use it when I do go cross country in a year or two with a roof tent on the top. And whatever else I want to haul on top of it. I want to throw lumber on top of there, that's fine. It does have a higher weight limit than the factory one, which I really enjoy. I like the looks of it. I think it makes the vehicle. I have no issues with it. The issue I have is with the company. And this video was made for a couple reasons. One, to inform people of what they're getting into. Mind you, this was made December 21st, 2021. That doesn't mean they're not going to have instructions in the next few months. They may never have instructions. However, it's going to be linked down below. I'm going to go through exactly how to install this roof rack. I'm not going to rip my car apart again, but I am going to go through how I did it and how I managed to get through installing it in 6 hours. And that was with friends' help. That was both of us scratching our heads and getting through the frustration. If you're new to, actually, I'll save all the warnings and everything for the other video. But I will say, if you're new to ripping out interior or you're not comfortable with it, find a professional or don't do it. And if you do it, just be ready, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to install. Would I do it again? Yes. I would definitely, without question, install this roof rack again. But knowing what I know now, I would probably be quicker at it, and I would probably know if I'm missing something. And I'd probably be faster at it as well, which is with everything. That being said, if you have any questions or comments about this, please leave them down below. Share this if you like it. I really do appreciate it. But that's all I have for you guys. Like I said, if you have any questions, just leave them below. But thanks for tuning in, and take care. Till next time.